Today I wanted to talk a little bit about my favorite character in this Final Fantasy 15 universe. His name is Nyx Ulric. I do apologize if I sound a little bit sick, just because I am. Um, but I want to talk about Nyx Ulric and who he is. And so all this information I've gathered is basically from the movie King's Glaive and just a little bit of research on my own. And here's what I've come up with. He's basically a bad A. Yes, I am fanboying over Nyx Ulric, but here's why. Nyx Ulric was part of the King's Glaive, an elite group of military people for the Kingdom of Lucis, and they are to protect that kingdom, to fight off the Daemons and the Niflheim Empire. Nyx Ulric was known as the hero of Lucis. Um, the other King's Glaive regard him as that hero, uh, mainly because he's uh, saved him and his friends and everyone else, and he's been able to fight off even the stronger demons. Um, so Nyx Ulric is from a town called Galad. Now Galad has actually been destroyed by the Niflheim Empire. And him and his friends has sought refuge in the kingdom of Lucis, and they became part of the King's Glaive. And now, because they're part of the King's Glaive, and because of it, they've gained this power. Basically, the kings of Lucian, their power resides in this ring. They're basically the god of Eos, and they reside in this ring, and they have chosen the people who can use their power, basically. You know how if you play Final Fantasy 15, you can warp around with Noctis. Um, Nyx Ulric and the King's Glaives, all of them can warp around. So, so they were chosen to be able to use this power, and that's why they're part of this King's Glaive. If you watch the movie, he goes out and saves Libertas from a three-headed Cerberus coming to attack him. He goes out and saves Lunafreya from a freaking Kraken in a freaking ship. One, I kind of want to know how they got that Kraken into a ship without it fighting back. Actually, I kind of have a theory on that. Well, I'll probably save it for a video or talking about how strong General Glaucus is and why he's able to beat King Regis so easily, and why he was a hard time for even Nyx Ulric, who took on the power of that ring at the end, and was able to be the same match for him. So, Nyx Ulric fought big monsters, was able to escape, and even defeat some. And in the end, he, who was not of royal blood or had any royal ties, was able to be deemed worthy by the kings of Lucian to use his power, to use their power. Only for a short time, though. It was up until sunset, and then the power would fade away, and in the end, he dies. Spoiler alert: he dies. Now, with that power, the rings of Lucii in the game of Final Fantasy 15, from what I understand, enhances your magical abilities. And throughout the movie, his magic has been enhanced. Um, he was able to fight General Glaucus on even levels, and even could even be deemed on a higher level. Um, Not only that, he was able to summon the Old Wall, which is basically the kings of Lucians, in their in that metal state, that the big giant iron soldier that comes out. He was able to summon that and also direct them to fight the demon, that big old demon, which I assume it kind of reminds me of an Omega weapon type demon. Um, Honestly, he looks more like, if you remember Final Fantasy 17, the structure of it reminds me of, or not Final Fantasy 17, I'm at Final Fantasy 7. The structure of it kind of reminds me of Emerald Weapon, just not green. And in Final Fantasy 15, its head is just a little bit longer. But if you remember the shoulders and the bottom half of it, kind of look like Emerald Weapon from Final Fantasy 7. But he was able to direct that old wall to take on uh, that demon. And then him and General Glaucus would fight each other, and they would go back and forth trading blows, and in the end he kills General Glaucus. Um, but since the sunset rose, the power was gone, and in exchange to use that power, he would have to give up his life. Not only was he able to use that power, but he showed how selfless he could be in the midst of war. And all the other wars, he would use his own body. He would almost sacrifice himself to try to save others. Even Libertas in the beginning. I do fanboy over Nyx Ulric. He is one of my favorite characters of all time in the Final Fantasy 15 universe. If I had a chance to play him in this game, that would be awesome. I know that you can somehow find his weapon in this game, and I hope to be able to get that pretty soon. And if you guys have any other interesting facts you would like to add on onto Nyx Ulric, please put it in the comments down below. I would like to see what everyone's thoughts on Nyx Ulric. And if you have any other favorite characters, let me know. I would love to see what you guys think. But Nyx Ulric is the man. If he made a difference in this war between Lucian and Niflheim. Even though the Lucian Empire has fallen and Niflheim reigns now, and I feel like he will be this one forgotten hero that we won't hear about often in the Final Fantasy 15 game. And that kind of bothers me a little bit. I'm only in chapter 9 right now. I haven't moved on. I haven't even met Lunafreya yet, who might bring up Nyx Ulric. But I feel like he won't be mentioned too much. So I do kind of want to just talk about, him on that regards, because he could be this forgotten person in the Final Fantasy universe altogether. And I think he shouldn't, because he was a main part of this whole war, and I feel like he should be a main part of the Final Fantasy universe. With that said, though, I do think Noctis is a great character and all. I think his story, his background, his style, his fighting abilities and style is great. But I do think Nyx Ulric is on par as a character development, as a main character, as like Cloud and Squall and Titus and Cecil from all the other Final Fantasy video games and stories. Um, so I mean, feel free to argue about that if you'd like, but I do think Nyx Ulric has a very important part in this whole Final Fantasy 15 universe. So thank you for listening. If you have any, like I said, if you have any other favorite characters, or if you'd like to add on to what I have said today, and comment what you like, just do it down below. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.